They said that May 1st, Workers' Day, International Workers' Day, fell on a Saturday, and the government thinks that workers in Nigeria should, take today off work. We will be having this conversation concerning civil servants and Nigeria's problems on the Crossfire this morning. My name is Eno Ugbevire, and a certain international legal scholar and consultant has said that politicians are popularly perceived to be the biggest problem and challenge in the nation's progress. Okay? But the guy, Charles Omole, says this is the wrong perspective, and the biggest challenge are the civil servants and not politicians. Listen to him.
Do you know the biggest problem we have in Nigeria is? The biggest challenge we have to change this country is in our civil service. Those who don't know how civil service work, we know that they can grind any system to a halt. They oppose, many of them oppose modernization. They oppose innovation. They like things being done manually. I wonder why. How many of you know that constitutionally no federal minister in this country can sign a contract to give you a job? How many of you understand that? It's the permanent secretary. It is the civil servant that do that. So how can a minister steal, for example, without what? In fact, many times it's the civil servant that teach the novice minister how to do it.
All right, Charles Omole there. My goodness. I have a guest with me in the studio this morning, Comrade Henry Orumbo. He's a National Executive Council member, NLC, and National Treasurer, Amalgamated Union of Public Corporation and Recreational Service Employees, OPTA. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
I heard you giggle a bit when you heard Charles Omole. What was that about?
Obviously, what he said is not completely true, because this permanent secretary does not have power to award contracts.
No. He didn't say award. He signed document.
It's just there as a rubber stamp. The politicians control everything concerning contracts.
So what does the permanent secretary do?
Most of them don't even know what's going on. They just give them the contract papers to sign, and that they don't know. They can't even monitor. So basically,
they're figureheads.
Yes.
Are directors figureheads too?
To the politicians, yes, because they don't allow them to work. If they are given free hand to do what they are supposed to do, you see things will go well.
So you're saying that the way Nigeria is, the problems we're having is because politicians are not allowing civil servants to do their work?
Very true.
Okay. Okay. So let's for example, I've seen this happen before. You're doing something in the government office, and the director says, bring the file of Mr. A, and then they can't find it. And it takes a week, it takes 2 weeks, then somebody whispers to you, Oga, you've been coming here since. What's going on? Sir, they can't find my file. Your file. What's then? You just give them a little information. Then, Oga, your file is your file is there now, but they haven't seen it for 2 weeks. Oga, you know now. You know. Let me stop there. In that instance, what role does politician play?
No, that's those practices are changing now. It used to happen in the past, but most organizations are now computerizing their files.
Organizations where?
The civil service.
They have computers?
Yes. If you go to lands, you want a file. You don't need to go and ask anybody. Walk straight to the permanent secretary or any officer there.
That's lands.
Lands, you have it in housing, you have it in most of these ministries, Most times when you have problems with missing files, it's as a result of moving it from one table to another and improper recording. Those are small administrative bottlenecks which have changed right now.
You know why I'm smiling?
Yes.
We have civil servants who are listening, and they're going to call in, and they will tell us indeed if they have changed or not. Or maybe they're just trying to make them look better than they actually are. Because I've been around a few times, quite recently too, and you still see files moving. You see some piled up. I know that police are federal staff, but are they civil servants as well?
They are public servants.
They are?
Yes.
Have you been to a police station recently?
No.
Okay, the last time you were at a police station, did you see any computers?
Yes. Okay. When I went to capture for, I think, tinted permit
you went
also.
To capture?
Yes.
Okay, that computer was there for capture. So if a person's case is going to be, brought up, have you seen anyone using a computer to check the name of the person and what their charge is or whatever?
I've not had an opportunity to do that, but I think there was recently I went to the correctional center and I was looking for an inmate or so. They had a computer, they searched, they knew the cell where he was and so on. I think things are changing now, so they were able to get.
I don't like that you mentioned the correctional center, because if whatever Charles Omole has said is true, then he must have been talking about the correctional center, because from the gate you start to pay. Did you pay?
Very true. Yes, I did.
From the gates of the correctional center in Port Harcourt, I know that one. I don't know about other places. Once you get to the gate, you start to pay. What do you pay for? Your sins? What do you pay for? And you're a guest, by the way. You're not an inmate. An inmate is taking theirs, like they prepared a place for you. So they say, you've broken the law, the court has said this, so we're going to keep you here. But for a person who is a guest, what did you pay for?
I think all that borders on the way, the attitude to work and the perceived fear of the unknown.
No, hold on, sir. You're jumping the gun. What did you pay for was what I asked. We've not talked about workers' attitude to work. We'll get there, but what did you pay for?
Well, they just said you needed to pay to go in to look for
from the main gate.
From the main gate, yes.
So you paid. You got to the next place. What did you pay for?
The next place, they say, oh, they want to do application. You need to do an application, the paper, stationaries, whatever. We paid, and they did the application, and then passed to the next table.
And
say you need to pay to go and look for somebody to bring him out.
And you said there was a computer, right?
Yes.
There was a computer, but you kept paying until you got to the computer. Then when you got to the computer, did you pay for the search? Google search.
It's not a very pleasant
and
situation,
no one is talking about
it's happening.
No one is talking about it. They make it look like the police are the worst thing that happened, after the devil. But I think the correctional centers are the worst place on earth. They're the worst place on earth. There, if you don't pay, you're not going to see anyone. And they determine the price. True. And I hear that sometimes if you declare money in your pocket, they'll decide the sharing formula. It's your money, but they'll tell you, So let's talk about attitude to work, because that's been a big issue. I mean, I had someone here the other day, and the person said that he doesn't think that, civil servants have a poor attitude to work, that the problem they have is that their employer, the government, does not, you said the politicians don't allow the permanent secretaries to work, or the directors, but they said that what happens is the employer, the government, doesn't even give them anything to do. So they just wake up, show up, maybe break groundnuts, maybe just sign in and vanish, or, I don't know the things that they do. So let's talk about attitude to work, because the politicians seem to have a great attitude to work. They know what they want and they get it.
Okay, let's start from the civil servants' attitude to work. When you're employed and you have terms and conditions, how you plan to grow in the job, benefits that are attached to the job, and so on. When you get into the system and you're not seeing that, you look back, you see those that have left the system. You see how, if you were there on the May Day, you need to see the condition of the pensioners. Because sometimes I even cry for them. You say labor leaders are not doing anything. You see them flogging our offices and so on. You see the chairman or anybody, officer on ground, each time they come, you have to look for transport for them. You have to look for medical, small thing to give them to buy medicine or something, These are people that have put in 35 years, and they are going home with almost nothing, because if you say, oh, they have gratuity, they have pension, let's look at it critically. You have people that have retired. Most of them are not even up to the director level. You have people that their gratuity is as little as 800,000, 1 million, 1.2, and they are not getting it for several years.
No, you're not saying the right thing. The government is not paying them.
It's not paying.
It's refused to pay them. Is withholding the entitlements. That's what you should say. They're not getting it. It's not going to fall from the sky. It's not manna. They work somewhere. They're employed somewhere. They put in the years somewhere.
Government is supposed to pay them, but they have not paid them yet. After years. So now let's come back to this.
Hold on. How does it work?
When you're terminating from, you're exiting from your job, civil service, you ought to be paid your gratuity.
When?
Lump sum.
When?
Almost immediately, so that you can use for something else.
Move on to the next level.
And you have your pension, regular pension coming in, monthly pension, so that you don't really feel the impact of your exit. It's something that just flows. Then when you're in service and you're not saying that. For those that have left, and you that you're in service, we all know. People say, "Oh, like what you played." The civil servants are the engine room of government. They can do this, they can do that. But let's put River State as an example. You have a car, you have an engine, and for 5 years you've not serviced that engine. How do you expect that engine to perform?
But
there has been no increment. There has been no promotion. Proper placing of workers and so on. There's no motivation, the required motivation to make a worker put in his or her best. And most of the jobs before now, you have PWD, Ministry of Works, Army projects. They do all these roads. They're involved in projects. You have the agricultural sector, the school to land. All these people are involved in projects.
But now you have just one Mr. Project. One Mr. Project is taking over the whole project.
But now, same cannot be said.
And one Mr. Project has taken over the whole project that has to be done. So you don't have jobs anymore.
So if you tell somebody, oh, your attitude to work, you're not coming to do the work. Yes, but there are still jobs that the civil servants do on a daily basis.
Okay, so aside the one that Mr. Project has taken over, there are still jobs that they do. I know that for some, it's basically they sit in offices and do administrative work. But others, like teachers, those ones are very angry because they have to put in the work every day. They're tested on a daily, and then sometimes they don't have what to work with. The health workers are the same, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the engine room, the civil servants are the engine room. You buy a car, 5 years, you don't service it. The engine has the right not to start, right?
Yes.
So why is the engine still working?
Because of the love, the civil servants have for the state. You don't ground a system. You just keep pushing.
What are you pushing for?
You're pushing to ensure that things work.
No, but you're pushing, and like you referenced, those who have left the system are stranded. They're dying. So what are you pushing for?
Because most people, you don't have any other alternative. You just have to go to work.
But you're the engine.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all the power.
Well, we have... our society now is such that it's very complicated. It's very complicated. If you bring in Nigeria as a nation, you have a situation where something is wrong, like the NSAS program, that people saw that, look, police brutality is in the nation. We need to see how we can stem that. There are people that will come up and say, no, they are against our brother, they are against the North, they are against this, they are against our religion, and so on. So there's so many sensitive areas that people need to tread cautiously when you want to embark on any project or any protest.
So what I've heard you say is this, that some people are compromised and they will do anything to make sure that a failed system continues to fail.
True.
But isn't that what the labor unions are supposed to be doing?
Now, the labor, especially in the country, the same thing, whether we like it or not, you have that same attitude, that same soft spot. During the time of Omole and Obasanjo, he did not see Obasanjo as a brother, or he did not see Obasanjo as trying to offend his brother or trying to do this. He was all out for the progress, but we don't see that today.
So we don't have committed people in those positions who are supposed to fight for the people or push those causes. Because I'm not sure it's a case of not seen as a brother. You might be my brother, but you've got to do what you've got to do. Right. We're brothers, yes, but there's work to be done. And this work involves the lives of millions of people, not just because they're civil servants. I might not have millions in the civil service, but the lives that are tied to them, by the time you trace it down, you see that millions of people, millions of projects that would have been carried out, and now nothing is happening.
Now, you will not say labor on its part, especially in the states. Let's bring it down to the states. I know there are several correspondences that have been put across to the government. There are several protests that have been done, but we also need to be very careful. Let this protest not be hijacked by hoodlum, and at the end of the day,
the story of hijack by hoodlum, where does it come from?
It's there. You saw it in the NSAS protest.
No, that was
where people were
we saw people bringing in, I don't know what they call them now, bringing in boys in SUV cars.
Thank you.
Bulletproof cars. We know who owns those cars, so it's not hijack. It was what they did. We know what they did. In this instance,
but how many have you arrested and said, okay,
the government has failed, and they know what they're doing because they brought those boys, to cause confusion. But in the case of labor, for example, now you have uniforms, right?
Yes.
And I mean, there are other ways to identify yourself. So how would it be hijacked? Then again, we've heard about sit-at-homes. So you don't even need to show up. Oh yeah, who wants to hijack? Go and hijack by yourself. Why are you hijacking against or for? Or there's nothing to hijack because we're home. So we sit at home. I mean, there are ways to do these things, but, well, we're Nigerian though. Omole says the civil service, the civil servants are the biggest problems of the country. We keep talking after now. Mr. Rumbe is with me here. Do stay tuned. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9. 28 minutes, make that 29 gone past 8 o'clock. We're Nigeria Info, where we have the region's biggest conversation. And this morning we're looking at civil servants on one side and the government on the other side. Politicians, that is. Charles Omole says civil service, they're the biggest problems. They're not the politicians that like we like to assume. Have Comrade Henry Urumbo here. He's a National Executive Council member, NLC, and National Treasurer, Amalgamated Union of Public Corporation and Recreational Service Employees, OPTA. And we have been talking for a bit. Open the phone lines now, 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0009. My name is Eno Ogbevire. One question before we get back to the phone line. Someone here, Victor Sandy, says, "Are you aware that politicians, I'm sure he meant certain, governors, reps, and all that, have immunity covering them? They use this as a tool for suppression anytime civil servants agitate for better condition, and among the civil servants, there are many." Hypocrite. Do you think that this might be a reason why, this whatever is happening on the side of the civil servants?
Well, you cannot rule out that factor because even as a labor leader, I've had a situation where somebody who does virtually all the work in the organization, and they came up with a flimsy excuse that, look, you don't have your professional seal and so on, and that's why you cannot be promoted. And I went and I made a case on his behalf. I said, this man has been working, he has put all his efforts, check all the projects he's there. Can't you find a way to just give him, even if it's one promotion ahead of what the level he is, so that, and he's doing the job that is even higher than his level. I made a case for him. And by the time they called him, the same man said, I beg, they should forget me. He did not ask me to go and do anything, Some can be we see things on a daily basis, especially the people you work for. But that should not deter you. His assertions are true. It happens. You have so many people working against the system, even when they know that this thing is to benefit, it's supposed to benefit them,
All right. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0009. We're Nigerian folk. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Let me greet the labor leader in the studio. I think this has been a very fine debate if you have brought in a politician too, so that there will be more explanation on how they work together. But the one that attracts my interest right now is the one you talked about, the civil service being the engine room. Bro, I think I tend to disagree with you. If you were the engine room, just last week Thursday, after like 6 weeks, is when they asked from level 1 to level 13 of the River State Civil Service to come to work. Was there any shortfall? How will I put it now? Did the job suffer as a result of them staying at home within the period?
Right.
Because you cannot tell me you're the engine room, at the same time you're not there, yet the job did not suffer.
Okay.
Now, two, how many engineers were involved, that is civil servant engineers, were involved in the design of the flyover, the road, and everything that they did in River State? So for me, I don't think you're the engine room, bro. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Another one. We'll get to the answers in a bit. We're Nigerian phone. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I disagree with that assertion that the civil service are the problem of Nigeria.
Tell us.
Yes, the extent civil service reform made the position of the permanent secretary, which is the head of the ministry, a political appointment. Two examples, one in Bayelsa and one in River State. The former governor of Bayelsa State, Governor Dixon, appointed the former first lady, then Patient Jonathan, as a permanent secretary. That's a political appointment. In River State, the current permanent secretary in charge of Ministry of Sports now, the former Swan chairman, was appointed.
But these are just two out of the many ministries that we have. So we can't use them as references. We can just use them as isolated. No, but hold on. What the standard is the most senior civil servant, right? That's what it is.
It is not so.
Okay.
You don't want to appoint whoever from anywhere to be permanent secretary in any ministry.
Okay.
The same reforms made the implementation of government policies, which is the core duty of the civil service, subject to political decision. So the public secretary are just there as the accounting officers, but they are not in charge.
All right.
Are you telling me that the public secretary will be in charge and will not promote the staff under him for how many years, as we have seen in River State and other states? So it is not true.
Okay, thank you.
That position of Omole used to be the common what was sustainable common before this reform.
All right, thank you for calling. Let's have Mr. Rumba answer some of these questions. The first one was about if the civil service is the engine room, how is it that, I mean, they've been away from work, federal and state. You just got back at the state level last week. How is it that the engine of government did not grind to a halt?
Okay, thank you so much. The announcement was for workers to work from home, not generally just to go home, and from level 1 to 13. But if you come to the ministries, you know that didn't happen, because there's no way, it didn't happen fully, because there's no way you work without some of these people.
Yeah, but
so
if you look at the percentage,
there's a way we made the system to work.
Okay.
So we had to get, like my organization, we got some of the essential workers, the dispatch clerk, the computer operators, the secretaries, and so on. We gave them timing. You can come today, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, ensure you clear your table. We even had to engage ad hoc cleaners. You cannot tell me you say level 1 where you have the cleaners, level 1, 2, 3. Most of them, we had an arrangement with them. Come, we'll pay your transport. Some, we had to outrightly engage people to come clean the offices, doing the compound, and so on. So if these people were at home, definitely the system would have come to a complete halt.
What's the percentage? Because I mean, I've been having that thought, because put that on one side. On the other side, we talk about the over-bloated workforce. So if we had these people at home for this long and things were happening, it means that things were not working optimally. It was more like a skeletal service. Yeah, so did anything stop?
It affected greatly.
What
greatly.
Affected?
Because you have a situation where you have 10 workers are supposed to occupy 10 positions, doing handling 10 schedules.
No, that's the question. Are they really handling 10 schedules?
Yes, they are. They are. In the service is it has really declined. We even need more workers in the civil service. Most people have retired and so on. With the stay-at-home thing, there's no way things would have worked. It's the initiative of the permanent secretaries, the head of service, and so on that thought it wise that things need to work.
The same figurehead permanent secretaries.
They are not figurehead completely.
I mean, come on. So he's asked about the constructions that have happened statewide, and he wanted to know how many civil servants in the engineering department were part of it, if you have that information.
Okay, I don't have that information, but I want to say that I'm not sure if they were involved completely, and that is what the civil servants, you cannot come and say civil servants are not doing anything when you know that this thing is supposed to be their job. It's like you have a development plan for a state. Oh, a 50-year development plan, and you need to take it in tranches. You'd have these people that are supposed to work on these things to do this plan, and you wake up tomorrow and say, no, I want this XY company to come and construct bridge here. I've discussed with them, I've settled the terms and everything. Then you come and say the civil servants are not working. There are engineers domiciled in the Ministry of Works who are being paid that are supposed to do some of these things. We know that they go out to do the supervisions and so on, but I don't know if they really,
what are they supervising?
Their word will really...
What are they supervising?
Supervising some of the jobs.
Did you don't be like that.
No, serious. They are just supervising the job. But the issue is, if they
hold on.
Yes.
Hold on, sir. Hold on, caller. Did you give them a brief?
No, every road construction, every bridge, you have an engineer from the service attached to every construction.
So what is he supervising?
The issue is his word.
Did he see anything?
Is his word being taken? That's why we.
Did he see any document before they started the construction? We're Nigerian folk.
Good morning, the Enigma.
Good morning. Let's hear your question.
Well, let me contribute. The truth is this: the civil service are their own problem. Civil servants are their problem. A to Z. They are the ones that introduce corruption to the politicians. They are the ones that cook and prepare how to stifle, how to frustrate the system to the death of the politician that was appointed to take charge of that office. That is why, to a large extent, I against appointing unknown body to head a department he knows nothing about. Do you know today, a lot of civil servants in River State are prognosing, are involving, are supporting the delay of salary payments in this state and in Nigeria, especially this part of the world? Do you know, even this gratuity we are talking about, know that they cannot compile it and start paying their remunerations? They can do it in less than 7 days. But who stifle the process? Civil servants.
How do they stifle the process? If the government, hold on.
The files of those departments or those people that are ready to pass away. I haven't still gone to a department. I'm looking for my file. They told me you don't see your file. You should sort your file on Monday. You went there on Wednesday. They told you we didn't see it. The file is being marked somewhere, and you come back next week until you come and press 1 or 2 buttons. See, I'm in that system, and I'm seeing a lot of things that are aggravating me. That is why this issue of pension, we will not solve it now until we have a mind that is strong enough to push these civil servants that are encouraging politicians to hang people's money in the name of some million in a bank. After 3 months, the dividends will come, we will share it. These are civil servants causing the problem.
All right.
Mr. Zion.
Thank you. So how would you respond to that? Civil servants being the problem of the civil service?
I would totally disagree with what the caller has said, because I'm fully aware that the system now is such that as you retire, it does not take long for you to be captured. All your details are entered into the system and scheduled. The problem is the politicalness to release these funds to pay. So you cannot come and tell me that there are people that have retired that have gone for capturing and they were not captured. The government is doing well in that aspect. They have captured, they have the data of everybody that has retired. They have the data of, in fact, as you're in the system, your ID card shows you when you're even supposed to go. It's there in your ID card, this new biometric system. So you know where you're going, and immediately you go, your data is being transferred to the pension unit, you're captured, you're profiled, and set for payment. The problem we have, it is not the capturing. The problem we have is political willingness to pay this money.
That thing, I don't know what it means. Say it the way it is. What is
it? It is the government's responsibility, or the government refusing to release the money, if you want it that way. So that is what is hampering the pension, not because of filing or anything. And commitment. If government says, oh, I need to commit. We don't. The money is not much. If the governor wakes up today and say, "Look, let me commit even 500 million monthly," you find out that this pension will be cleared in less than no time. Because, like I said, the percentage of people that have gone up to director level that will end up to whether 4 or 5 million, they are not so much.
Okay. All right. Wow, lots of messages here. Ask him if there is light in the offices to power the computers he's talking about. Sorosoke. Now you need to Sorosoke. You're laughing.
Well, the issue of light is a general.
That's an excuse.
It's a general problem. But if you go to the ministries, if you come to my office today, we have a standby generator.
Who's paying for it?
The office. That's why the government releases overhead. The overhead is not meant to be. It's not an additional salary. So government on its part have provided room for those things. Where you go and you don't see those things working, the heads of such parastatals should be held accountable. But my office, I can speak for my office. We're connected to the national grid and we have a standby generator. But you cannot say it will work 24 hours.
How many hours do you work? From 8 to 4, technically?
8 hours.
Why are you mentioning 24 hours?
So,
wait. How can your guests explain the rationale behind civil servants like teachers who don't come to work, even when they only do, they discuss newspaper headlines? If you say they're not being paid, they should resign and let those who are ready to work take over their jobs. What of those who have stayed 15 years at home after graduation and have taken at least a month's government salary? Okay, well.
The issue of payments, I will commend the governor for prompt payment of salaries. Even before the month gets to a call, he pays salary promptly. What the labor or the civil servants are clamoring for, it's for a proper harmonized scheme, which a committee has been set up. The reports have been sent to the governor for implementation. The new minimum wage, yes, it has been sent over a week ago. So it's just for implementation. But for salary payment, for teachers, for civil servants, it's prompt.
No, but he's talking about the teachers who go to school and don't do any work. That's the ones that bother to show up at all.
No, you cannot tell me that teachers don't do any work, because you
the ones that, hold on, they're the set. I have friends who are teachers, so don't be like that. They're the ones that go to school. One, they're the ones that go to school and they teach. Two, they're the ones that don't show up.
I'm not completely aware of that. How is the class supposed to run?
So that's the thing. The classes don't run.
When you don't go to school at all. The
classes don't run. And there are some that were employed the other time, and they sent to rural areas. Many of them have stopped going, and some are still earning. You're not aware. No.
That is left. You have educational supervisors.
That is the question. So these are the questions. Are these people doing their jobs?
They should rise up to the occasion and do their job properly. That shouldn't happen. That's an abnormal. It shouldn't happen. Okay.
All right. Yes. This thing with civil service starts from the top. The governors have nothing to offer, as the morale of any organization starts from the leader. The civil servants, though, are still doing boy, are not serious with what they want. They'll continue to be at the mercy of their masters. Omole did all he could because he had the Edo governorship in mind, not because he loved Nigeria and COO. Well, if he made things work, then something worked. Your guess is economical with the truth. I'm a public servant in the aviation sector, and physical files are still prevalent. Missing files are due to not paying bribes. Oga, why are you being economical with the truth?
No, he's not.
This is your colleague. It's not me. Your colleague.
It's not true. It's not every office that you go to and they say they must request for bribes.
How many computers do you have in your office?
We have. Well, at a time, every officer had a computer.
Then what happened? Water carry and go. We are Nigerian folk. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Morning.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your guess is very much economical with the truth. He cannot claim that he does not know, particularly with pensioners, what the people go through, when they retire. Yes, their ID card shows when they will retire and all that. It's only an ID card. What about the office?
Sometimes you go, they'll tell you go and bring your documents you use in getting employment, your first promotion, last promotion, all sorts. How is the system like that? And people who work there will frustrate even their colleagues in their documents. And then when that is done, between them and as it claims government, they don't pay. So the whole thing is a mess. It starts from the civil servants. It starts from them. And just like that, let them not be economical with these issues. And their generator, they go to the secretariat, the place is in darkness. It's in total darkness. Where is the money coming from? Let them not defend anybody. Let's say the matter the way it is.
Okay.
The same service is in a mess.
Thank you for calling. We're Nigerian phone.
Good morning, Madam Aino.
Morning, sir.
My name is David West. The issue is the civil servants are the problems of Nigeria, isn't it?
That's what the consultant...
To an extent, I want to agree with that postulation. The labor man there in your studio, the labor executive, I want to ask him, aside this normal salary as civil servants they earn, what else again do labor leaders do when you see them building big houses, driving big cars?
They are?
Yes.
Really?
I'm telling you what I know.
Okay.
And I've challenged labor leaders on this issue, particularly in Yenegua, where I am now. You see labor leaders going on big SUVs. Go and look at the car. The national chairman of National Union of Medical Health Workers Union, the national president is using. That car is worth 50 million naira. Money.
Sorry, what kind of car is that? I need to check.
Toyota Sequoia.
Okay.
It's what that amount. So whose money? Is it from his own personal pocket, or do they pay them another money aside the normal salaries they earn as civil servants?
Okay.
So it's amazing. That's why it's even in their elections, they go as far as fighting each other. Some of them go as far as going to the Babalawo house. Some goes to prayer and fasting just to end that position. So to an extent, they are also their problem.
All right.
Within them, the civil servant, you are working in Ministry A. You want to take your file to Ministry B to solve your problem. Your own fellow civil servant will tell you, you go tip us. So if you don't bring something, this file no go move. What are we saying?
All right.
So it's a problem, although the politicians are the major problems we have. How can a politician come and spend 4 years and he goes on with billions of naira? Then this civil servant will put 35 years of his or her life. At the end of the day, to pay him even the pension is a problem.
So the question...
the politicians are the worst problem.
Okay, thank you. But that's the question I asked again. If you see this come and go every 4 or 5 years, why is the engine not, grinding to a halt? I don't know what, that Sequoia car is about $50,000. I don't know what that comes to today. Why are you laughing? Is it true that...
$492.
$492?
I think that's the black market exchange rate.
Oh, you're giving me the rates. So is it true that, you people drive exotic cars?
Okay, let me start from what he said initially, which we have dealt with. The issue of you go to the secretariat, there's no light.
He doesn't agree with you, so don't go back there.
I've said it point blank. Government releases overhead. If you go to the secretariat, you don't see electricity. The head should be held accountable. You go to the parastatals, the head should be held accountable in that aspect. For civil servants, for labor leaders driving big cars, I want to say not all labor leaders have access to those privileges. Those privileges.
Where did they come from?
Those privileges.
Where do the privileges come from?
We have moved beyond. We have labor leaders who are professionals. So you cannot look at somebody who is a professional, probably has a farm or engages in other forms of businesses, and because he wants to enjoy pleasure, you say no, it's because he's a labor leader. That's why you're driving an SUV. The civil servants, there are civil servants who are not labor leaders that have these big houses, that have these big cars.
They have farms too.
Thank you. You also have, you cannot rule out the issue of people getting into office to enrich themselves. You cannot rule that
and the
out.
The system doesn't.
You cannot rule that out. You have some labor leaders, their primary objective is just for the funds. Okay.
On Facebook, I don't know. Eric says, our governor is simply not interested in our civil servants and the welfare of retirees. Why is it difficult for government to pay retirees their entitlements? I know that this will come up and it will keep coming up until the funds are released. It's very unfortunate, says Nasibiku, that up till this moment, poor will still be compromised to impoverish retired citizens. It's very unfortunate that we need to condemn and correct for rapid development of our society. Vanessa Jumbo, I feel like living in Nigeria because our problems seem unending. I pray we get good-hearted leaders that will lead us selflessly. We're Nigerian folk. Hello? Hello?
Yes. Let me have a question for your guest. First of all, let me join in felicitation to you and your guest for your May celebration. Is it not better that the government and the players of labor are proactive, like some nationals do? So you have a list in today's digital world, high-tech world, a list of all your staff with dates of retirement, and you prepare their severance package on the date or before the date as they are leaving, not after they leave. Then you start talking about capturing, or you expect them to come to you to begin to apply for retirement. I think that's old school, because as far back as the 90s or so, I have some in-laws who work in oil companies that they even approach them. They have like 1 or 2 years to go. They say, come and take X amount and leave. Instead of, let's say, 10 million, take 14 and leave. Okay. You have 2 more years, to encourage them, because in their estimation, to take in fresh employees will better the company than those older ones. Why they're also blaming you?
I apologize. We've run out of time. We're working a new schedule these days, so the commercial has to play in a bit. We just need to wrap this up. So, final words, on both sides. You're there. So, final words on the side of the civil servants and to the politicians.
Well, my final word on the side of the politicians is they just need to do more, especially in the area of job creation. They need to do more in the area of reviving the economy of the state. If you go through Transamadi, you see virtually all the companies are for sale or either for let. But if you run through Lagos to Ibadan, you see everything. There are smoke coming out of every chimney. That cannot be said for Rivers State. So the governor of Rivers State, yes, he has done fine, especially in the area of infrastructure. The overhead bridges is constructing, but side by side, they should look more towards revamping all the alien industries, RUTC, Timariv, Rizzo, Palm, Greater Port Harcourt, Songhai Farms, and all the likes, to see that the STEM bring about more employment. That in turn too will cushion the security challenges we're facing in the state. For the civil servants. Then for the civil servants, more things like promotion. The civil servants need to be motivated. They need promotion, they need increments, annual increments, they need the pensions to be paid on time, they need gratuity on time, and so on. Then on the May Day, the SSGs talked about retirement, retaining those that have retired. They give room opportunities for people to work. The best brains are domiciled in the civil service, whether you like it or not. They are domiciled in the civil service, and if properly harnessed, I think things will work very well in the state. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Henry Urumbo. He's an NLC leader, Labour leader. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, the wrap on the Crossfire this morning. My name is Enoch Bevere. Thank you for joining the conversation. I return tomorrow at 5 right here on 92.3 Nigerian for Port Harcourt, where we have the region's biggest conversation. Stay tuned.